Hello and welcome to The Update. I'm Tina Quinn. Israel's Prime Minister says war will resume in Gaza if Hamas does not uphold the terms of a looming ceasefire. The deal, which will begin on Monday morning local time, will see the release of 33 hostages in exchange for nearly 1,900 Palestinian prisoners. In the days since the agreement was announced, Israel has stepped up its assault on Gaza, with at least 123 Palestinians killed in airstrikes, 33 of whom were children. Speaking to the BBC, Dr. James Smith, who's worked in the region, says that the ceasefire feels like a very small first step.
I think we have to have faith that there will be no further violence. That really is contingent on serious political engagement to bring about an end to the underlying occupation. People who have been living in what has been described by many commentators as an open-air prison, this really needs to come to an end.
Protesters have hit the streets of the United States ahead of President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration. Thousands of people descending on Washington, D.C. to rally against his second term. These attendees explaining why they're against the incoming president.
I'm old school. If you're a liar, you can't be the president of the United States.
I would say it has to be abortion rights. As a 19-year-old woman, I don't know what it's looking like if I need protective care.
Meanwhile, the clock is ticking on TikTok, and it seems even President-elect Trump won't be able to reverse a US Supreme Court ban on the Chinese platform. The court has upheld a law banning the app unless it's sold to an American company. The platform is expected to fade to black in less than 24 hours. A Queensland woman remains in critical condition in hospital after allegedly being set alight in a domestic violence attack south of Brisbane. Officers were called to a home in Kingston yesterday morning, where they say a 36-year-old man used a lighter to set a 34-year-old woman on fire. He remains in custody on several charges, including attempted murder and common assault. New South Wales authorities have rescued several people from floodwaters and are still searching for two others amidst severe storms across the state. Strong wind gusts sparked a high volume of calls out across Sydney as well as the Hunter and Mid-North Coast regions. Ausgrid spokesman Junaid Hollis says there's some hope in sight.
With this latest windstorm, it's really quite widespread, so inflows of new jobs haven't yet stopped. I'm expecting some of these restoration processes to go into Monday.
New South Wales authorities have rescued several people from floodwaters and are still searching for two others amidst severe storms across the state. Strong wind gusts sparked a high volume of calls out across Sydney as well as the Hunter and Mid-North Coast regions. Ausgrid spokesman Junaid Hollis says there's some hope in sight.
With this latest windstorm, it's really quite widespread, so inflows of new jobs haven't yet stopped. I'm expecting some of these restoration processes to go into Monday.
Dozens of people have been injured in a ski lift accident at a resort in northern Spain. Local authorities say that 17 people are being treated for serious injuries and about 80 others remain trapped on the chairlift. And doctors in the Indian city of Calcutta have vowed to continue protesting until justice is given to a female doctor who was raped and murdered at work last year. Yesterday, a Calcutta court convicted civic police volunteer Sanjay Roy of the crimes, which carried the death penalty as maximum punishment. Doctors marched through the streets after the verdict. They allege more people must have been involved due to the extent of the victims' injuries and vowed to keep protesting until more people are investigated. In sport, and Australian Open bad girl Danielle Collins has bowed out, going down last night to fellow American Madison Keys. Like last week, she again was heckled by the crowd and booed when introduced at Rod Laver Arena. Her opponent took the match in straight sets.
It's always difficult. We've been playing each other since we were 12 years old and had some battles, and she's such a fighter and always leaves everything out there, so it's always really difficult playing her.
Meanwhile, Alex de Minaur is the last Aussie standing in the singles. And world number 5 Daniil Medvedev has been whacked with fines of more than $120,000 for two incidents in his first and second round matches at the Australian Open. Australia's women's cricket team is just one more victory away from retaining the women's Ashes. England need to win all 3 2020 matches and the one-off test to take the trophy. The T20 International Series gets underway on Monday at the SCG. All-rounder Talia McGrath is quietly confident that Australia can build on momentum after their clean sweep of the one-dayers.
The old cliche of just looking a game at a time, but first and foremost we want to get to 8 points and then we want to get to 10 points, and that starts at the SCG, and change of format now, so we're expecting potentially some new players, some new challenges.
In entertainment news, cook, author and television personality Maggie Beer is celebrating her 80th birthday today. The iconic chef grew up in Western Sydney before relocating to the Barossa Valley. She's told News Corp she'll continue living life to its fullest.
I enjoy everything about life and I intend to continue, but I am going to slow down a little bit.
And that's the latest from the Nova podcast team. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Update.